Big Thinny on Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Sleaford Mods record, Key Markets. The most punk thing in the UK right now is back with a new record, following up their breakout record, Divide and Exit, which I thought was entertaining, at some parts electrifying, but also kind of one-dimensional in a way as well. The instrumentals on this record were super minimal. Very post-punky beats, mostly consisting of bass guitar and drums. And they sound like they're recorded in a very raw fashion as well. And Andrew Fern sort of oversees these instrumentals in the live setting as he sort of plays them off of a laptop. And then these instrumentals are topped with the rapid-fire vitriolic rants of one Jason Williamson, whose voice essentially sounds like all of the working class rage in the UK, building up over the past 30 years, just boiling over in one huge, fast-talking, angry voice. And the mods, while their sound was definitely ear-grabbing, I think it just could have used a bit of variation on this record. Just a little bit of variety, you know, just to break things up. Maybe even just a little bit more musicality. And I think the duo has kind of seen the writing on the wall a little bit, that they just can't continue doing the same exact thing over and over and over and have it click with audiences. And I think on Key Markets, they have made the appropriate changes. Sleaford Mods are still their straightforward, to the punch, angry selves, but now they've managed to work in some strong hooks, a bit more singing, a few beats that actually vary slightly here and there, and a few toned down tracks in the instrumental too that are just as engaging as the hard-hitting cuts. They haven't really changed anything that was always good about the duo. What I think they've done on this record is they've made their very dense, abrasive style a bit more digestible, and delivering tracks that actually sound like songs, like tracks, like I'm not just listening to these angry working class rants and there just happens to be a bit of background music going on back there. The mods have progressed, but stylistically I think they still showcase a lot of the same influences they've always had. Clearly there is a hip-hop influence going on here. I mean, not in like a really clear sense, not in the traditional sense, but there's something so lyrical and poetic about what the mods do that just reminds me of rap music in general. There's been numerous comparisons to The Fall with this duo, and that still rings true here. And also in a weird way, experimental spoken word and electronic music duo Suicide. But all comparisons aside, what you're going to hear on this record is angry, it's hilarious, and it's catchy. Right from the get-go with the song Live Tonight, which is a really weird and odd portrayal of like a live setting, like a live show. And there are all these cynical sort of images and sort of satirical shots taken left and right at concert goers and venue people. Even a moment where somebody's handing out refunds. And then right after that we get the song No One's Bothered, which actually features singing for like the duration of the track. It is about as close to singing as you're going to get from the Sleaford Mods. And it's actually an incredibly catchy song, and I get a really strong theme off of this track when it comes to complacency, which Sleaford Mods sort of seem to fight against in every way that they can on numerous tracks throughout their discography, just spitting in the face of crap labels, crap music, crap musicians, crap venues, and crap politics. Before I go into the whole crap politics part, I do want to say that the song Tarantula Deadly Cargo actually features quite a bit of singing too. I mean, these tracks where the mods are really trying to sing more, I think they go over well. Even though this track does feature one of the weirdest stories on the entire record, which involves everything from excrement to deadly cargo being dropped off by like extraterrestrials. And the mods make this song feel a little less lonely with the fact that we have the song The Blob on the very back end of this album, which is another very weird tale to be coming out of this duo's music, which is obviously a huge nod to the classic horror film The Blob. If I'm somehow missing out on some kind of big English inside joke right now, please let me know. Jason really seems to be branching out with what he feels like he can approach lyrically, and for the most part I think the results are good. He's approaching some interesting and weird topics that, while not maybe some of the most amazing points on this record, it does show that there is some experimentation going on here. The mods are taking some risks. They are kind of dabbling outside of the typical stuff that they would rant about on earlier tracks, and at least it's memorable and adds to the character of the album overall. I actually think this track is a pretty good example of the mods proving how one-dimensional they aren't, while sticking to the blueprint that has got them to this point to begin with. But as far as the crap politics go that are constantly referenced throughout this album, the mods are still steaming, obviously, from the elections that just happened in the UK, and take numerous shots at not only the system, but also at guys like Nick Clegg and Ed Miliband, who they say was hit with the ugly stick on songs like Face to Faces, fantastic track, and Quiet Streets as well, amazing song. And the song Rupert Trousers as well, where I kind of feel like coming through in the vocals and the lyrics too, this real strong sense of just disillusionment and disenfranchisement. Sort of like the mods are impersonating the very lethargic and just, ugh, I don't care anymore. I'm just beat down by the system, just general population that they're trying to rile up with tracks like these. To go back to the song In Quiet Streets, some of my favorite lyrics on this entire record pop up on this track, not only in sort of weird one-off little one-liners like, eucalyptus, you can fuck off, but also on lines like, we are the wooden horses on wooden race courses. And a seizure isn't a physical crack, it's your body trying to take itself back from rules. I also love the hook on the song Arabia too. It just seems like a direct shout out to the fans, talking about how Jason has sort of this, I don't know, this cavalcade of weirdos that have dreams that sort of are in tune with what Sleaford Mods are doing. And even though there is a bit of a glimmer of hope in knowing that there's someone else out there, just seeing how just boring and uninspired and shitty the world can be sometimes, even Sleaford Mods' hatred and their critical eye is turned toward themselves during moments on this track where we get the lyric, I'm just a little asshole blowing smoke. Before, Sleaford Mods were definitely funny, and they were clever, and they were angering too when they needed to be, but now I think on key markets, they're bordering on poetic. They are poetic. And this has helped them deliver more potent verses and character portraits too, like on the song Bronx and Six, where we're kind of getting this depiction of this very unlikable, pretentious music leech scenester type. So yeah, there's lyrical variety on here, and even though the instrumentals do run simple throughout the record, I think we're getting some sonic variety too. I like how on the song Silly Me we're getting this gurgling synthesizer, a slightly more synthetic instrumental overall, and we're kind of getting this slower, more lumbering, just more toned down instrumental. The mods do a good job of handling a slower pace on a lot of these tracks. There's only a few cuts here where I feel like the slower instrumental conjures up very little in the way of chemistry with the vocals, kind of like on the song Cunt Make It Up, or to an extent Rupert Trousers, even though that song's slowness and its stiffness and its lack of passion seems very purposeful. But for the most part, the instrumentals here just have these really awesome, just rough, very amateurish but tight and enjoyable, rigid, pumping grooves that just keep the pace of the album high, keep the bass and the momentum of the album going. And that's basically what I think of this record. I think it's good. I really enjoyed it. I think Sleaford Mods came through on this project, and in a way, I was kind of expecting them to. I was hoping that they would, and I feel like they pulled through, and I had faith that they were going to do something cool with this next project, and that while Divide and Exit was good, it had its moments, that there was so much more potential there. There was more room to experiment, but still kind of stay true to what Sleaford Mods have been doing since records like Austerity Dogs. So, yes, liking this record, recommending this record, feeling a light 8 on this record.
Transition, have you heard this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? And if so, why. Also, what should Mr. Fantano review next on The Needle Drop? Just like Mr. Fantano, I too have my own music channel. However, compared to his, it has much more hair and much less insight. If that sounds good to you, then please come and check Stereo the music reviews out for yourself. It will never be as good as The Needle Drop. I mean, what will be? I spend more time on this channel than I do with my friends and family. Anyway, that's it from me. Jonah Hill lookalike, whatever this album was called, forever.